Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It doesn't matter where you're listening in. Welcome to the Growth Edge. This is the place where we give you business fundamentals that you can apply today for insight, impact, and transformative change as you build your business. So karibuni sana to the African MSME Collective, where we help businesses, whether startups, micro, small, or medium, start well, stabilize, scale, and be sustainably profitable. Our focus on profitability is because that is the secret sauce for longevity. As always, my name is Chesubi Retalitwala Greg, and I'm your host in this show with my colleague Joe Mukoko, always on the hot seat. I think it's even hotter right now given the temperatures where we're at. But we are grateful to come into your viewing. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for following the African MSME Collective. Feel free to hit the notification button so that every time a video goes live, you are one of the first to get it. Now, just to recap, we've been doing conversations around documentation because documentation is the secret sauce for your business. Documentation is data-driven. Data is where the power lies because as business owners, we must make data-driven decisions. So following that, we're looking at how do we ensure our money is where we know it. Number one, first of all, that we make money. And then it is where we know it is, and then we manage it. Because if we do not manage resources, then we're unable to grow and scale and be sustainably successful. So through the year, we'll be discussing different things. And this month, we're looking at money. Why? Money is fundamental to how we do the business. We are in it to make profit. We're in it because we have a customer who has a recurring need that we meet, and for meeting that need, we get something. So we'll be having some very, very amazing conversations around money, and today we're looking at how do we put our money together. So it's all about following the money. But before you follow the money, you need to have a plan for the money. So Joe will be taking us through that. And as we start, I want to ask you, Joe, what was your worst money decision?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. A warm welcome to you. See, even that question confused me until I was like, wait. Started this business. When I was young, I had a high appetite for risk. I still have a high appetite for risk, but now it's calculated and it's documented. And there was a shortage of a certain product in the energy space. See, I'm even posing. There was no proper documentation. So yes, there was money to be made. But if you cannot follow the money and you cannot track a few things, for any given activity that you're doing, there'll be trouble. Why do I say that? At times you feel like, I've been in business long enough, I can do this, I can. But as we will see over the course of this episode and the next episode, it's important to, as you said, follow the money because we are looking at two things: profitability, sustainability, and you said longevity, right? Good. So we're actually looking at those three things. So it's very important. Remember, unless you're an entrepreneur, of which we are not, we are in this space to be profitable. By being profitable, it means we can be sustainable. And by being sustainable, it enables us to be able to run our businesses over the 5-year period that we are always told about, that businesses only survive for 5 years. So not having those things in place took me off track. And you can imagine, I had Excel, I had an accountant to help me, I had a system. And you know, those days, I think back in the days, we kept receipts of everything. So every day I had receipts, you know. this kabag of receipts. So for fuel, for entertainment, for purchases, for all these things, but you are not following what is going on. You are busy just accumulating receipts. You can accumulate receipts, but if you don't have a system to follow what is happening, then you will be in trouble. Thank you. Back to you.
So the bad decision was not to keep your records straight. And energy sector is not a 2 shilling sector, eh?
Even if you're doing 2 shillings and you're not following, my friend, you're in trouble. I tell someone, even buying matchboxes and selling, if you matchboxes are in the energy space, candles are in the energy space. So if you buy and you're not tracking, it's also trouble.
I said that is because many times we're so confident in our personal skill that we forget to expand around us, because I'm only as strong as my system. I'm only as strong as the people around me. So I could be a very strong money manager at home, but it's not an automatic thing for my business. And that's really what I'm hearing you say. I mentioned energy is not a tube of industry, because by the time you have seen a gap and you're actually investing big money. So you have a lot more to lose than the person who's selling the matchboxes, because they're buying at, give or take, 20 bob and selling at 30 or 42, or maybe buying at 28, selling at 35. But you see, they can go and it's stock of 2,000 shillings. You're putting down millions and there's no system to track it. So yes, I kind of say, and we say in this section, that if you cannot account for 1,000 shillings, you cannot account for 1 billion shillings or even 100,000 shillings. And the other reality I've learned about money is money goes where money is. So if I don't have systems, if my pockets have holes, and they will come, money will be like, it's been real and it's gone. But then when we talk about it like that, because we need to be able to, one, know what we are making and account for it, what kind of records should we actually be keeping?
Thank you very much for that question, Chosubere. What kind of records should we be keeping? Allow me to answer that in two parts.
Mm-hmm.
Why then keep those records? You have talked about money goes where money is. And sometimes the confidence in our personal system makes us assume that money will automatically come to us because of us and our personal system. And those are two very different things. You and I have this school of thought that you have to separate them completely. And even if you're burning, keep them separate so that everything doesn't burn out down. At some point, one will be able to rescue the other. Why should you keep these records in the first place? These records enable you to have a 360-degree view of your business, an iBird view of your business, an eyeball view of your business, which is important. Remember, you're taking resources to come and build more resources. So you also have to be accountable for the resources that you are putting in place. Now, by you having a clear picture of your business and the financial records, it will enable you to, one, make decisions. Mm-hmm. Do I sell more? Do I stop? Where are the leaks? Where are the gaps? And what can we be able to do about it? So that's why you need to keep records. And the records we need to keep, very important. I know we'll speak at length in the next episode, but your revenue and your expenses. Very important. You know that thing I was laughing about, telling you how in the old days we used to keep those, I know you went through it. I know you went through it. We are not young. You know how when we had accountants and they tell you, keep a record of everything. And, oh, I don't have that folder here. And you have a folder and every day you're just taking and keeping everything in and giving the the accountant. So why revenue? One, revenue is what is coming into your business. So all the sales, you need to keep track of all your sales. Sometimes, even I was telling consultants, we forget to include some income. You might get someone who just wants a template. And because Jesubre is good at doing templates, the person has done a template and sent you that 1,000 shillings. Where did you document that revenue? I had a discussion yesterday with an entrepreneur who made me laugh that they were asked for records by the bank and they had not separated their personal and business finance. So the bank then, the financial institution then told them, okay, you bring your M-Pesa records if you've said you also receive M-Pesa records. And the bank was very confused. Now, being able to translate income, this is a problem. So anyway, we finally came up with a solution on how to go about dealing with that in future. But it's important, one, to document your revenue, very important.
Mm.
And it saves you at some point because banks, there are loans which are given to you based on turnover. So if you are not able to document everything coming in, you will feel like, oh, I sell a lot, but the bank is looking and saying, no, your turnover is only X. But according to you, your turnover is Y. But where is that Y? Where can the bank pick that Y from? They can't see the Y, They're like, I know, mister, we can't help you. Number two are your expenses. Those are the costs for running your business. So your suppliers, salaries, allowances, marketing, stationery, fuel, name all those things, cost of production, you need to document them. Now, these two will help us know, remember, picking from where you began the conversation, profitability. Are we profitable? So key to know what is coming in and what is coming out of your pocket. So that when you get to a point and we can be able to see there's something coming out of your pocket. Oh, where's my handkerchief? It should have come out. The magic trick has refused. But yes, so those are the two things that I will talk about. They are key, they're essential. And out of this, then we can talk about our profit and loss, our balance sheet and cash flow, which we shall discuss in detail in the next episode.
There's something you've said that really caught my attention. When you said why keep, you talked about having a 360-degree view, which is all around on the level you are. Bird's eye view, which is like from the top looking down, you can see the whole landscape. And then you said eyeball, which for me interpreted for today. And I remember listening to a clip. I would be lying if I said I remember who it was. I believe it was either TikTok or on IG.
It wasn't me in the
No,
clip?
it wasn't you. And the guy said, when you look at your money every day and you know where it goes every day, that is when it begins to grow. And what I'm hearing you saying is we must really track how much is coming in, which means takes us back to product definition, because then we have to have every product with its line, with its cost, with its and then understand the expenses related to every product so that when our money comes in, we know what our cost lines are, then that will take us to the place of profitability. I went to see I was in the salon yesterday getting my nails done, and as I came to sit, the business owner, the salon owner is my friend, and I saw her. She was now logging up until that time in the day. How many clients had they received? How much had they made? And now she's going to a place of individualized receipts and invoices so that she can track. And I think for me, it was really profound when you see smaller businesses actually beginning to pick that up. So then when you think about following the money, beyond profit, because that's a key benefit, knowing how much we're actually making and whether or not we're profitable. Um, Beyond decision making and the capacity to evaluate, because those you have mentioned when you're talking about why we keep records. Is there any other way following the money helps us?
Thank you, Chesubere. Yes, there's another way following the money helps us. You have talked about defining our products. Why are we in business? What do we want to do with this product? And one, we will know our profitability. Are we making money? Are we not making money? Then we get to know. The key thing why we need to track this is it helps us understand our business growth path. Let's take an example of the lady, the salon owner. I'm assuming it was a lady. If it was
Yes.
a gent, correct me. Why would they look at their books? They want to see, have I increased the number of people who are coming into my business today? It's a Monday. Okay. By having these records in place, you're able to track your month. And let's say you have a 26-day month. These are the days that I am selling more. These are the days I'm selling most. These are the days I'm selling least. These 3 days, what happens? Then it helps you be able to calibrate the product plan in terms of growth. On these days, I'm selling less pedicures. Why am I selling less pedicures? There's less traffic coming in. How can I increase the traffic coming in? So that is one. By doing that, then it also helps you make the right decisions. So on the days that I am selling least, I am spending more on marketing. Can I reallocate that money? Or how can I then be able to market effectively? I'm spending X for the least days and X for the most days, but the X is not giving me for the least days. How do I change? Then you'll be able to, like we always say with you, data driven decision making, right? Now, what that does is it then helps you be able to do your financial forecasting. Remember, we talked about balance sheet and cash flow, and we'll come to that. And knowing that I can do Y to be able to bring me Z. Now, you can only look ahead if you have the records. Something we laugh a lot about with you in terms of Gemini, ChatGPT, Cloud, and DeepSeek is that they are built on historical information. So you pick that historical information, then it helps you be able to project, what do I want to tell my audience, or what do I want to do with the program going forward? It will not help you with the program going forward. That's up to you. But you use those historical records to build. Then something else is in terms of compliance, regulatory compliance. You're in business, when it's time to do your tax returns, like for this year, and my accountant is telling me, hey, Joe, there are months, there are things I can't see. Where are they? So I have learned to just key in everything and give him.
Mm.
When it comes to doing your taxation, it's easier. The records will be able to speak for themselves. For those of us in the energy space, those records also help because the government wants to know, whom did you talk to? Whom did you give those equipment to? Okay, whom did you sell to? Now that also helps the government make decisions and say, okay, there's a gap here. We need to see these people. That's on a higher level. But on a personal level, that is how keeping those records help. And the last one, I know at times not all of us are loan bound based on our faith, based on our values. but it helps with investor readiness. And investor readiness is in terms of, one, you seeking funding, or I can walk up to you and tell you, hey, Chesubiri, man, you've been running this bakery for some time. I want to pour in some finances. Can I do due diligence? Part of due diligence is the record. So if they are not there, what happens? And you tell
lose
me,
the
Joe,
opportunity.
exactly. Joe, you want to put A amount? You just put A amount. It is there. But then,
Yeah.
going back to what you talked about, the confidence is in our personal system. But you see, if I am coming to invest, I am not looking at your personal system. I'm looking at your business. Where is the money going? Where is the money coming? And can my money be attracted to your money so that my money can go where your money already is? And then lastly, we are looking at profitability, sustainability, and longevity. Are these things in place? Can they help me? Thank you. Back to you.
And as you're speaking, it came to me that money is past, present, future. Yeah, because you've talked about using historical data to make decisions for today, as well as to make decisions for tomorrow. And whereas many of our small businesses, like I've had so many business owners saying, me, I don't understand money, it doesn't make sense. The thing I'm hearing you say is that money must make sense, otherwise, why are you in business? But the other thing I've also heard you mention several times is you have an accountant, you have somebody who's supporting your back end. So it must make sense to you as the business owner, but you don't necessarily have to do all the data entry work that would normally be in the ecosystem, which now draws us from the personal system to the business system, where personal, by and large, I do it myself. But the business system, how can I enable somebody else to actually do the work, but I have access to the full record so that I have 360-degree view, bird's eye view, and eyeball view. Now, any business where, as a business owner, you don't have those three things about your finances, you're in trouble. It doesn't matter how well you market, how much you market, it doesn't matter how much you sell. Taking from what you said, Joe, if we cannot come back and say, we made so much money, and so much money is pegged on selling so many products, the day for scaling, we cannot go and get financial support. And financial support, like you said, may not always be loans from the bank. It could be equity. It could be even grant funding. We need to have records of where we are going, how we spent the last grant. And I think that's the fallacy of many of us. We think, but it's a grant, I don't have to account for it. In the NGO world, I know that if you put up a budget and you don't spend it all, the next cycle they give you less, not your original budget, but what you spent. So given that finances and money management are so critical for our businesses, what is one lesson that you learned and you continue to use? Please share that as your parting shot.
Parting shot, document. It might not make sense, document. It's 50 shillings, that's like 0.5 cents to the dollar, document it. It makes a big difference. So document everything coming in, document everything going out. I like how you put it when you talked about having an eyeball view of your finances means that you should be able to track it daily. And that's huge. Because if you started, let's say, as a business owner in your small shop and you bought stock for 2,000 shillings, that's like roughly $15. And in the evening, you cannot account for where that 2,000 shillings, $15 went, it's a problem. Now, by documenting and keeping an eye on it, then you will have better control. Thank you.
Fantastic. So what we're looking to do is establish a system of better control. It doesn't matter whether or not up to date your money management has been funny. It doesn't matter. What matters is what are you doing starting today and going forward? Because that's the place of shifting. You sit down and you look and you say, before today, I was a poor money manager. That's okay. Now that you know that money is so critical and important in the business, what can you do to go ahead? And with that short foundation, we have said today that it is important to understand where your money is so that you have a 360-degree view, which is all round currently. You have a bird's eye view, which is the total view across all departments, all structures, all partners and ecosystems. And then you have an eyeball view, which is how you're looking at it today. We've also said that you must track your revenue and your expenses, every line of revenue, even if it is you lent somebody a pencil or you sold it for 2 shillings, every line of revenue must be covered, because that's how you understand whether you're profitable or not. That's how you make data-driven decisions. You're able to evaluate what processes are working and what is not. You can track your growth plan, turn it into financial forecasting, be compliant in terms of regulatory compliance, and actually be able to get support. And which was very profound for me was it can drive industry impact, because then you input into the body of knowledge your industry has. So if you don't have another reason for tracking your finances, just track it to track profitability. Let's not be businesses that are running every day, they're running, but they're not profitable, because sustainable profitability is what we're looking for, and that's what will transform our continent. Thank you so much for joining us at the Growth Edge. As always, Joe, many thanks. Your wisdom and insight is valuable and easy and practical. We can apply it today. To our audience, we're like, it's been real. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming. Thank you for consistently following us and watching the shows. Again, if you know somebody who could benefit from this information, please share the link for the channel, invite them to the page, and go out and do one thing that you learned today. Start with one. The list could be long, but start with the most effective one, the most influential one. Start there. Because the point of these sessions is that you can start and then come back to the community and you will grow in the community. So from us at the African MSME Collective, my name is Chesubire Talitwala Greg, and I say thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. And next time we'll be talking about the actual things you need to do. So we'll talk about the profit and loss. We'll talk about your balance sheet. We'll talk about your capital and all those things that make business good. Yes, they've always been difficult, but come. We'll make them easier and more understandable for you. So from us at AMC, we say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It has been real, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Thank you, Chesubire. Catch you on the flip side too.